Welcome to Efteling, one of the most beautiful parks in Europe. In this video I'm going to share a whole bunch of hints and tips to make sure that your next trip here is a good one. So make sure you subscribe for more, and let's go on to the tips. Okay, so first tip, if you are a UK resident and you are a Blackpool Pleasure Beach annual pass holder, you can get in here for free. That's what we did today. You probably already know this, but your Blackpool Pleasure Beach season pass gets you one-day entry to numerous parks, of which Efteling is one. So you can at least get one day without paying. Happy days. And so one question when you go to any theme park is, how long do I need? Is it a one-day park, a two-day park, etc.? We're here for 2 days. This is our second day. It really depends on what you're planning on doing. So yesterday, and we're here in the end of August, so, and they said it was lively. Today they say it's busy. We managed to get on all the rides yesterday, and today we're having a chilled out day doing the Fairytale Forest and all the entertainment and stuff. So if you're just here for the rides, you might be okay with just one day, but the park has so much more to offer than just the rides, so I'd strongly recommend you take at least 2 days. Last time I came here I had a day and a half and I did not get around everything. So yeah, definitely give yourself some time. This is a beautiful park and it is not small, so make the most of it and come for a couple of days. Now, this park has a little train that goes around. I believe it stops at multiple places. I've seen it a couple of times today. I did not see it yesterday, so I don't know the frequency of it. But there you go, choo choo. Perfectly timed. So, you know, whenever I'm in a park that has a train, I tend to like to do it after lunch. I didn't, because when I was having lunch the train went past, and because I've not seen it super frequently I was like, I've missed that. But if it is something you're interested in, keep an eye out for it and wait at one of the stations. Now, as is becoming the norm these days, the park has an app, and it's probably one of the better apps I have seen. In fact, when I was here last year I did a whole video on it because I was so blown away by how good the app is. So it has the stuff you would expect. It has your times for the rides, it has the directions, etc. It has mobile food ordering, you can collect your photos in it. But there's a few extra things. If you are staying on site, it's also your room key. Kind of convenient and handy. And if you enable the Bluetooth feature in it, it does start to interact with parts of the park. I think I've said before, last year when I was here, I was here on my birthday, and I was in the Fairytale Forest, and the talking tree said, "Hey Chris, I believe it's your birthday." So, you know, it adds that little touch, and certainly young children will love that kind of like mystery and added personalization. So it's an absolute must to have the app installed, and yeah, as I say, it's one of the best ones I've used, so definitely a valuable companion. Now, this park is not small, it is huge. If you're from the UK, think Alton Towers kind of size when you include the gardens with towers. This place is massive. Now, whether you're doing the rides or whether you're doing the Fairytale Forest, I guarantee you will do a lot of walking, so be prepared for that and make sure you got comfy shoes. Now, one thing this park does not have is fast track, and you may be sitting there thinking that's a bad thing, especially if you're traveling. I know when I travel I tend to get fast track so that I'm guaranteed to get on everything, but trust me, it's actually a good thing, because when they don't have a fast track they are not worrying about merging two queues and having to deal with prioritizing certain people, which basically means things are really efficient. What they do instead though is they have single rider on a number of attractions, and that includes Baron 1898, Symbolica, Python, De Vliegende Hollander, Max and Moritz, and Joris and the Draak. So all the big hitters you can single rider if you're on your own or happy to be split up. Bear in mind, the clue is in the name. Do not go in single rider as a family of 4 and then say we're together, because that's not how it works. But it does mean that this place is really efficient. They say today is a busy day according to the app. Queue times are still 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm not seeing it that busy. So yeah, fantastic. And as I say, single rider, useful. Now, you'll see these a couple of times around the park. Basically it's kind of like a hot vending machine. They have things like sausage rolls, cheese pastries, all that kind of thing. And you just pay contactless, couple of quid, door opens, get your grub. So there's one outside Max and Moritz, and I have seen others around the park. I'm not sure exactly where the rest of them are, but yeah, tons of options for you in this park. Speaking of food, this place has tons of options, whether it's little sort of stand caravan type things, sit down restaurants, quick serve restaurants. loads of dessert things. They've got donuts with ice cream in. Like, there's tons and tons of options. And the pancake place just outside Symbolica is super well themed inside. Like all the kind of pots and ladles and stuff are kind of moving around. So they've got you covered. As with any park, if you're going to actually eat at a sit-down place, try and avoid the typical lunchtime rush if you can. You know, so eat early or eat late. This is a park though that is more than happy for you to bring your own food in. So that can definitely be a way to save some cash if you are a family and there's tons and tons of benches around that you can sit and grab your food. So whatever your preference is, they got you covered. Oh, and also, my partner is vegetarian and she has not struggled at all. For everything that there is, I had a meatball sub, I had a hot dog, they have vegetarian equivalents of both. So, you know, if there's a veggie in your party, honestly, one of the best selections we've seen so far. Now, as well as all the rides and indeed the Fairytale Forest, this place has tons and tons of entertainment options. Now, whether that is just little character meet and greets, whether that is the characters doing little performances, or the bigger shows, they have Ravelin, which we went to see today. Fantastic show. It's about 20 minutes long. They've got Carol, which is a paid show in the evening. Doesn't run on Fridays by the looks of it, because it's not on tonight. But they've got tons and tons of entertainment options as well. So, you know, this park is not just about the rides. It is a full park with tons and tons of options. As I said, you're probably going to need a couple of days here, certainly to take advantage of all of it. If you're just here for the rides, maybe you're fine with the day, but yeah, take advantage of everything this park has to offer. Right, so one thing to be aware, unlike parks in the UK, and a little bit more like parks like Disney, this is an all year round park, right? It does not close, which basically means that they have to do maintenance throughout the season, right? Where in the UK we're used to them being shut for 3 months, they do all the work, etc. They don't do that here. But if you go on the website and you pick a date, it will tell you what attractions will be closed. So I'm not sure how far in advance they know. I think I've seen it several months in advance. So just check that before you come to make sure you're not disappointed. First time I came here was in February, and unfortunately I didn't get on De Vliegende Hollander, I didn't get on Droomvlucht and something else. So I'm glad I got on them this time. But check the website, look at the dates you're thinking on coming, and they will tell you what is running. Now, one of the good things about this park is that whatever the closing time is for the park, it's actually the closing time for the rides. A little bit like most of the parks back in the UK. So if it says tonight, for example, closes at 10 o'clock, the park doesn't close at 10, the ride queues do. So you can sneak in there at 10 o'clock, even if it takes half an hour, 40 minutes, even up to an hour. They will honour that final ride, so you can get that last ride in. If you are finding these tips useful, please do hit that like button. And I do this for every park that I visit, so hit subscribe and you'll be notified when other hints and tips videos come along. Let's keep going, shall we? So, the obvious question is, when should you come to Efteling? Well, normally I would be like, just come here on a school day, you know, try and avoid the weekends, and you should be fine. I am here Thursday, Friday in the summer holidays, and it's totally fine. Now, from what I saw online, the Dutch school holidays don't line up with the UK holidays mid-term. Now, I say UK, I'm assuming that is English, because the English and the Scottish holidays don't line up, because you guys are usually off at a different time to us. So, point is, quite often half-term back in the UK is totally fine to come here. So, do that. Oh, and just to add to that, normally I would say go online and look for a crowd calendar. Efteling actually has one on their own website. They will give you an estimate on their own website of how busy it is going to be. So you don't have to go very far. Just click on it. To be fair, it said today would be busy. If this is busy, this place is very good at managing busy days, because I haven't seen anything over half an hour. So, but point is, look on the website, they'll give you advice. Now, a number of the larger attractions have baby swap, or baby switch I think they call it. Usual thing, you know, you're with a kid who can't get on the ride, so you go and you speak to member staff. One of you goes on, the other one stays with the kid, and then you do a little switcheroo and you don't stand in the queue twice. So if that is you, just speak to the staff. Now, when you're booking your tickets, if you are coming here with a very young family, or at least some young guests, those who are 3 and under do get in completely for free. Do need some proof, so passport. I don't know if they accept birth certificates, but definitely if they've got a passport, that is the way to prove they are under 3 and get them in for free. And that might seem a little strange bringing somebody that young to this park, but because it's such a magical fairy tale style park, they're gonna enjoy it. And there's attractions like this one. I'm on the Gondoletta, the boat thing, which is about 10 minutes long, but they'll love it. Those little pedal train things, you can only get on them if you have a very young child, because I tried to get on them last time. My youngest... There are adults on them, but they have to be with a child. Yes, my missus just said I wouldn't fit my fat ass on it. Anyway, when I was here last year, my youngest would have been 12, and she was too big to get on it. So I'm gonna guess it's 10 and under, but yeah, that little, which is weird, because I think maybe if it's quiet and you convince them, they'll let you on it. Although I did see a vlog from somebody who managed to get it to jump off the track, and the staff had to come and put it back on the track because they were an adult and they went too fast. Alright, a little tip about the boats, the Gondoletta. Lovely little boat ride, very relaxing, takes you all the way around past around 1888, 1898. But it is a very, very long ride. I timed myself on there and it was 22 minutes. Which, if you're looking for a nice relaxing time, is fantastic. But if you want to see a show, or if you've got a reservation for dinner, just bear that in mind. It's not a 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute attraction. It is 22 minutes, and that's assuming they don't have to stop it to let guests off and on, which they do occasionally. So just make sure you're not going on that if you have something planned. Right, now I know I mentioned single rider earlier, that many of them have single rider. This one, well, actually all of them have a time outside for single rider, which is fantastic. And as you can see from that one, 20 minutes for the normal queue and 50 minutes for single rider. So it doesn't always save you time being a single rider, but at least they've got times for them. Symbolica is also a ride that has 3 different versions. Now, to be fair, it is basically the same ride in all 3 versions. There is something like 9 rooms that you go in there, and one of them differs between the 3 routes. So you've got the music tour, the heroes tour, and the treasures tour. And as I say, they will just diverge for a little bit, do something unique, and then get back together again. But if you want to see all of them, you need to ride that 3 times. The Fairytale Forest, which is just in there, is huge. So don't think it's like a 5-10 minute walkthrough. I would say you need an hour if you're going through it reasonably quickly, and longer if you want to take it all in and see all of it. There's also time and stuff, so when you go in there, you have a number of shows that are kind of on repeat. And when I went through earlier today, I kept catching the last bit of the show, so then you'd have to wait for it to reset and blah blah blah. Long story short, if you're doing the Fairytale Forest, and please don't come to Efteling and not do the Fairytale Forest, you need time. You need to leave yourself a good hour or 2 to go through and just enjoy it. Now, if like me you're travelling, you need somewhere to stay, and Efteling has you covered. In fact, right behind me right now, they are building a brand new hotel right at the entrance, but they already have a couple. They have a couple of options. So the advantage with that is that you get early park entrance. Now, I stayed in the Loungeland last time, and you get in half an hour before. You go in round the side towards Fata Morgana. They check your tickets to make sure you are a hotel guest, and they'll let you in so you can get on all the rides. One thing though, I'm not staying on site this trip. I did look, but the only option they had was a family room for 6, and it was just me and my partner. It was far too expensive. So just bear that in mind. Depending on availability, you may, if you're a family, that's fine. But definitely check it out. They do have some great options, and assuming that they have some rooms available, I'd recommend you stay on site. Alright, the final tip, advice, hint, whatever you want to call it. Parking. Parking is not free here. It's, well, at the time of recording, it's €12.50. But if you bought your tickets online, you can load it up in the app, and then on your way back out, you just scan the QR code, and the barriers lift. Job done. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this, make sure you give it a like and subscribe, because I do this for every park I visit. So if you found this useful, there will be more in the future. I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.